And so, it continues. Hello there, welcome back to Max's Rank Advice Q&A Lightning Edition. I'm back! That's right, I'm back and I'm ready to answer some of your questions once again. You know the drill, you leave questions in the comments down below. I give you a quick answer, I make it a point to reply to every question that I get, and then I add them to the pool of questions to be answered formally in one of these Rank Advice Q&As. You're busy? It's still NaNoWriMo? You're probably writing. Why are you watching a YouTube video? It's okay, I'll give you a quick answer to the question at hand. Before I go on anywhere though, I'm going to tell you, as always, the quick disclaimer that the following is merely just my advice, my opinion, and what works for me. Don't take it as gospel, instead take it as the ramblings of a silly person with an equally sillier shirt. Actually, fun fact, I'm mutuals on Twitter with the person who has the Yandere Twitter handle, and I always feel really special. I'm like, Lord, you have the coolest freaking Twitter handle. But anyways, let's dive right in. Today's question goes a little bit, or rather precisely like this. Are there any quick things I can do to put my novel first? For example, before social media or games or any other distraction? Thanks! Well, I have some really quick ones. First and foremost, you can just turn off your phone by holding the power button. That's a really good one. Another one is just to turn on airplane mode. That's what I do when I write. I don't even do not disturb anymore. I just put on airplane mode and get writing. Silliness out of the way. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be able to look at the story and what you're trying to do and say, are games more important than this? Is social media more important than this? Is replying to that one message I got more important than writing? Because there's a really harsh reality, and I'm gonna drop it on you one more time. Your novel is not going to write itself. You can't just keep putting it second and putting it second and putting it aside and hope that maybe one day it'll get finished. It won't. The only way it's gonna get finished, the only way you're gonna make it through that entire process is to sit down and write. And for that, you have to set your priorities straight. The game is gonna be there. Social media is gonna be there. Twitter will be there. Tumblr will be there. Waiting. They're not going anywhere. Aside from my serious / joking advice of, putting on airplane mode, there really is no quick way. You have to be honest with yourself, sort your priorities, and put the writing first yourself. Is it hard? Yeah. But you need to understand, and as I've told you, the harsh reality, that unless you sit down to write, unless you sit down and get that story done, it is never, ever going to get done by itself. So, sit down, be brave, push those things aside, claim the time for writing, respect it, and get writing, okay? Okay. Now you may be thinking, Max, that was a really quick question. Is the video already done? The answer is no. Because there's another really quick question that I got, and it's one of those really quick, small questions that gets repeated enough that I really should answer it, but it's too small for me to tackle it in a formal video, so here's a bonus question! It goes a little bit like this. If I am rewriting a scene, handwritten, no document to edit, can I count all the words or only a portion? It's silly, but I'm afraid it will affect the validation when I'm done. Okay, so I assume this is in reference to NaNoWriMo, and what I would do in your situation and what I think I've done in the past, and this is just my personal point of view, this is not like objective because it's just NaNoWriMo, but what I've done in the past is that I only count what I add to the scene. That's why it's not really effective for NaNoWriMo. It's not really, because the point of NaNoWriMo is to do a lot of writing, and you're really not gonna do that with editing because you're kinda, or at least with rewriting, because you're kinda looking to make the story better and to make it flow a little bit better, and adding more doesn't usually equate to that. So most writers would actually tell you that to make it flow better, you have to take stuff out. So it doesn't really flow well into trying to make it work for NaNoWriMo. And also you're writing by hand, which makes the act of counting your words again feel like hell. So I'm not entirely sure what to do about this. Also, it kind of doesn't really matter, and I'm not trying to be like disrespectful here, because the validation process for NaNoWriMo is actually just entering text into a text box. You don't even have to enter your novel's text. I haven't done it for years now. I just make a big block of Lorem Ipsum, which is a randomly generated text of, or block of text that matches my workout, and I just plug it in. So again, it feels like it's gonna be like doubly hard for you because you don't have actual text to enter into the text box, so you would probably just have to make like a randomly generated text or block of text. I don't know. At the end of the day, being entirely honest here, as I've said in the past, the validation process for NaNoWriMo is not really that important, and I know that if it's your first time, you're really excited about it, but if you've done it multiple times like I have, you end up realizing after a while that it's not really about winning. It's ultimately about getting writing done, about making that story better, about pushing forward, sitting down, respecting the writing time, telling yourself that this is what matters the most. The games, the social media, those little things can wait on the side while you get this done, because unless you get it done, it will never happen. So dear that writerly friend out there, keep rewriting, keep focusing on your story, and I say honestly, for NaNoWriMo, doesn't really matter. Make that story great. You're rewriting, it means that you've probably already finished the first draft. Keep pushing forward, you're almost there, okay? Okay, and that's about it for today's video. Just a really quick and fast one, just to cover these two questions that weren't really as extensive as other questions that I would usually cover, but they keep repeating enough. You know, I get them from multiple people that I feel that I should probably cover them. Additionally, in case you're wondering about the video, I'm gonna treat this part here as a mini update. I'm gonna have more writing videos go up, kind of in this format, because it really flows with my schedule now. I was worried that I wouldn't have time. Turns out I really do have time once the rest of my life quiets down. But that, of course, I have no control over. So I have only control over the things that I can do. And in this case, there will be more writing advice videos coming to you. Yeah. And more LP videos if you're also interested in those. By the time this goes up... No. The day this goes up, I think. No. 2 days from now, the finale of The Sims 4 Legacy Challenge Season 1 is gonna go up, and I want everyone to vote on who you want to be the next protagonist. But that is mildly unrelated to this particular subject of the video for the time being. I want to remind you that if you have questions, leave them in the comments down below, as well as any thoughts or suggestions regarding what you think about this format and the thoughts on the questions that were answered today. For the time being, I want to thank you for watching. New outro, as always. I've got 20 seconds to cover all the things that are on the screen right now. Subscribe if you haven't already. There may be a link to my Patron, I'm not sure. There's probably just a link to my other channel with Kitty. We're doing content, really silly content, Let's Play videos. We've been doing that for like a month now, it's been really fun. If you wanna hear me uncensored, making terrible jokes, then you should go check that out because it's hilarious. But for the time being, thank you for watching, thank you for tagging along, and I will see you on the next one.